Hey guys, and welcome to the first official video YouTube podcast thing, YCG podcast. Today we're going to be going over our deck lists from our very first show, Duel.
Highly recommended. Not super.
Yeah, it was something that we needed to do anyway.
Yeah.
Because
we planned it.
We planned it. Yeah.
I can't stand it.
No.
I know you planned it.
No, it was sabotage is what we're trying to say. So right now we're going to get into my deck, which is the Earthbound Immortal Aslla Piscu. Earthbound Devastation is what I call it. Using Deck Devastation virus and Deck Eradicator virus, or Eradicator Epidemic virus. There you go, so many viruses. And Kyle, your deck was?
I don't know. Chaos
Frog. It's hard to label something so versatile. So, let's take a look.
Okay.
Alright, here we have the Aslla Devastation deck, or the Aslla Piscu deck. This is my version 2, I guess, the one that I used in our very first show duel. That was in red cases, as you can see here, and I'll discuss those after I go with my new style deck. So, and I'm writing an article on most of my card choices and some options for Aslla Piscu that I've been considering. First card is Stardust Dragon, Malefic Stardust Dragon. All you have to do is remove a Stardust from your extra deck, special summon it to the field as long as there's a field spell there. So with Mausoleum of the Emperor and my newly run card, Zombie World, it makes it a pretty easy summoning because I also have Terraforming. And it's, of course, level 8 and Dark, so it works with Eradicator Epidemic virus and Deck Devastation virus. So it means you contribute it, own your opponent, and have fun. And then there's also Trade-In, which I am just starting to run, since I run a lot of level 8s, and comboing that with Zombie World, Monster Reborn, Book of Life, and Call of the Haunted, trying to get some more consistency and make it a little bit more of a synergenic deck. And Dark Simorgh, another really good tribute monster. Using that with Mausoleum of the Emperor is an awesome way to stop your opponent from setting. And it also works well with Eradicator and Deck Devastation virus. And it has a special summoning effect, so you get to special summon it from your hand. If you have two, what? Huh? Oh no. So you get to special summon Dark Simorgh from your hand by removing a wind and a dark from your graveyard, and you also get to special summon it from your graveyard if you have a wind or dark in your hand.
That nobody uses.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really good, but most people seem to want to run a Dark Simorgh deck, and you don't really see it splashed around as much. But it definitely gets splashed, though. It's talked about. It's still in the duelist consciousness. You just don't see it as often as you should.
It's not like Sork.
No.
It's different, but it's also the same.
Mm-hmm. What does Sork do?
Gas Sorcerer?
Oh, that what you meant. Okay. For some reason I thought you were talking about the bird. Another bird, not this bird.
Revenge the Street.
Then we have Raikou and Charge of the Light Brigade. I've been attempting fusing this deck with the Lightsworn engine, my style.
Your Lightsworn engine.
My Lightsworn engine. No, I started out pretty simplistic. I have the Raikous and I have some charge. I haven't put any solar recharge in it. And or wolf. I'm getting there. I just want to keep it, fairly simple. Hey, there's so many weird things I could do with this deck. 3 Malefic Stardust, 3 Aslla Piscu, 3 Dark Simorgh, and then I'm toying around with a different number of Shieldwing and Gravekeeper's Guard. Gravekeeper's Guard is a good 1900 defense monster, returns a monster on your opponent's side of the field to the hand, so it's just great defense. Dark, of course, level 4. And then Shieldwing cannot be destroyed by battle up to twice per turn, meaning they have to attack it 3 times we got a Wind and a Dark, and I make Dark Simorgh. And then Ryko puts all of that stuff into the graveyard, plus my other spells and traps, which don't really matter as long as I have one of any of them, really. I mean, if I already have the field spell, anything that goes to the graveyard, since I run multiples of it, it's not that big of a deal. And then Earthbound Revival, one of the long-forgotten Earthbound cards. Discard one card, select one Earthbound Immortal monster, and one field spell from your graveyard, and then you get to add them to your hand. So you could discard an Aslla Piscu to get an Aslla Piscu and a field spell, discard a field spell to get an Aslla Piscu and a field spell. It's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. Well, obviously you have to have another target before you discard the Aslla Piscu.
Absolutely.
So like if you have another Aslla Piscu, you can discard an Aslla Piscu to get an Aslla Piscu.
Mm-hmm. And you definitely have to have another field spell to get a field spell. So it works with switching between Mausoleum of the Emperor and Zombie World. You discard one with Earthbound Revival, get an Aslla Piscu, and get the other field spell if you need one. And now we will go to the old style deck in the red cases that I was using during the duel. Since Mausoleum of the Emperor allows you to summon any monster just by paying life points, no tributes. The life points are your tribute. Guardian Sphinx is a really awesome card because it's one of those archaic monsters that you just set and then wait for awesome stuff to happen. When it is flip summoned, unfortunately, flip summoned, so you have to do it yourself, it returns all monsters on your opponent's side of the field to their hand. And for 1,000 life points and a 2,400 defense monster that does that, it's pretty awesome. And since Mausoleum of the Emperor forces you to pay life points, I was also using Nimble Momonga, 1,000 life points when it's destroyed by battle, special summon 2, so it's part tribute fodder, part life point gaining engine. And then Des Lacooda. I just wanted to draw, so I was trying that. Plus with my kind of like stally deck, because as we see over here, I had Scrap Iron Scarecrow, plus I had Aslla Piscu and all of this big giant hate to sit on the field. It was, hard for my opponent to choose when to attack or what to attack at times, so having Scrap Iron and then Des Lacooda is a great, great play. And then in my older deck, I was using Reckless Greed because I needed to draw a lot, and I was also using Upstart Goblin, which is draw a card, give your opponent 1,000 life points, and draw a card. And some other cards that I'm not using in this deck are Offering to the Immortals. And it's a pretty interesting card. You activate it only when your opponent's monster declares a direct attack while you have 3,000 or less life points, which means after you've paid a bunch with Mausoleum of the Emperor, you get to activate this card. You get to negate the attack, and then special summon 2 tokens, ceremonial tokens, rock, 0 attack. And then you get to add 1 Earthbound card, Earthbound Revival, or Roar of the Earthbound from your deck to your hand, which is pretty awesome. So it sets up an Aslla Piscu tribute. And the tokens can only be used for the tribute of an Earthbound Immortal monster. And then they can't be used as synchro material. And then to combo with Aslla Piscu, to combo with Aslla Piscu, we have Interdimensional Matter Transporter. Remove from play 1 face-up monster on your side of the field, and then destroy your opponent's field with Aslla Piscu's effect because it was removed from the field, and then it comes back during the end phase. What did you say, Kyle?
IDD empty.
Oh, yeah, IDD empty.
And why aren't you using it?
Why aren't I using Interdimensional Matter Transporter? Because it's a trap and you have to set, and I would rather use this card over here, Mystic Wok. Tribute a monster, gain life points equal to its attack or defense. So that's why Mausoleum of the Emperor and Mystic Wok are right next to each other, just to highlight their usefulness.
Just like this.
And then I do just like Mystic Wok. It's awesome. It forces monsters off the field if you tribute an Aslla Piscu. Then if you summon an Aslla Piscu with Mausoleum of the Emperor, they chain anything bottom, well, of course not a counter trap, because unfortunately it's not fast enough, but they chain anything. You chain Mystic Wok, tribute the Earthbound Immortal Aslla Piscu, effectively gaining 500 life points from that entire thing, and then destroying any face-up monsters that they have. Mm-hmm. And that's an Interdimensional Matter Transporter. It's a trap. That's pretty much the only reason why I'm not using it. It's because I have to set it, and there is nothing else that I want to remove from the field besides Aslla Piscu, but with Mystic Wok, I can actually gain life points. I would rather just do that and rely on all the other special summoning techniques I have and use Interdimensional. And then, Reasoning, that I was kind of messing around with. It's pretty easy game one if you're playing a match because they have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah,
so I could either summon... No, so you summon a 7 or an 8. Most people say, 4. 4 is a staple, but I have 3 and 2 and 4 and 2 and 7 and 8. You're pretty much guaranteed to get something. And then Earthbound Wave, which is a really, really good card. It's just unfortunately outclassed by, like, Solemn Warning and Solemn Judgment. Pretty much... Bribe. That's
kind of condition.
Yeah, it is. You have to have an Earthbound Immortal on the field for Earthbound Wave, but then you get to discard. You get to negate a spell or trap card that your opponent activates and destroy it. So it's just because it's outclassed by Bribe, just because this is conditional. Yeah, and Bribe isn't, unfortunately.
That's like Bribe.
Yeah.
I like Bribe.
I like Bribe too. I would like 3.
It has its place.
But I have 1. Absolutely. So, I'll go over some of the numbers and then I'll leave a deck list for what I am using now as well as what I was using, in the comments, exactly.
In the comment section?
In the info section, actually.
Oh, really?
But I'll just go over it now real quick. 3 Malefic Stardust Dragon, 3 Earthbound Immortal Aslla Piscu, 3 Dark Simorgh, 2 Shield Wing, 2 Gravekeeper's Guard, 2 Rykos, 1 Charge, 3 Book of Life, Monster Reborn at 1, 3 Terraforming, 2 Zombie World, 3 Mausoleum of the Emperor, 2 Mystic Wok, 2 Trade-In, 2 Earthbound Revival, Call of the Haunted at 1, 3 Eradicator Epidemic Virus, and then 3 Deck Devastation Virus, and some of the...
Triples of both.
Triples of both, that's right. But sometimes I play around with how many I have just because the deck isn't finalized, but that is commonly what I do. Like I was saying earlier, the monsters I kind of change in between what I feel like is most important, depending on how I've done in the past. Like sometimes I might feel like 3 Guard is really good because first
deck is fantastic in some decks.
Yeah, like first turn Thunder King Ryo against this deck kind of sucks a lot. Because you can't use Terraforming, which means that if you don't already have a Mausoleum of the Emperor or Zombie World, then you're kind of screwed, which means you can't summon any of this other stuff. And then you're just setting and waiting while they blow up your guys.
Yeah.
And then 2 Scrap Iron Scarecrow, 3 Reckless Greed, 1 Des Lacooda, 3 Nimble, and then...
This is in the deck now.
1 1 Guardian Sphinx for the old set, but I digress. I will put all of that stuff into the info on our iTunes page, and this was part 1 of our deck stuff.
Profile.
Yes.
Deck profiling.
Deck profiling, absolutely.